Hi and welcome to today's video. So today I'll be creating and starting a new project about simple bank manager. So this was actually I did kind of the same thing when I started learning C sharp. So I thought, oh, why not? Why not make it in C++ plus plus as well? So this will be a simple console application and it will also be a multi-part video. So today I just want to get the login and sign up finished. And I will be creating this in Visual Studio 2022 because I can and also because it has a built-in C++ compiler, so I don't have to mess around with that. I will also be uploading, when it's finished, I will be uploading this to the GitHub. I forgot the name. And so you can, fork it and you can create your own stuff with it if you wish. So, uh, so as you know, I have been gone for around 3 weeks now, off YouTube mainly, and I have been trying to learn C++ as much as I can, and oh boy, it's been there's been a lot of headaches, trust me, but I think I'm kind of starting to understand it mainly, and I also tried, in my ego, I thought I would understand OpenGL much better, but it was just a simple waste of time. There's just and for those of you who don't know, OpenGL is a graphics library which allows you to draw stuff to the screen. But yeah, no, I didn't understand anything. So that's why I have decided I will slowly move up. So today, and I will start off by simple console application to kind of understand a bit more about C++, and then I can start to integrate OpenGL to create, for example, tic-tac-toe, Minesweeper, Sudoku, and so on. And then I can, I feel like I will be able to start actual 2D games or 3D. So that's a bit of a background for what I have been doing for the last 3 weeks, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. Okay, so a quick update. So I basically created a struct user which holds the data for the user. I mean, nothing, sorry, nothing too crazy about that. It for now it holds the first name, last name, username, and also the password, right? But later it can hold the amount of money it has on its account and credit card information and so on, since this is kind of a bank manager system. And I also created a function that basically saves this user data into a separate file. So you can see here I have users.txt. It's a simple text file, and I do this with file.open, and its mode is app, which stands for append, and this just means that it adds text on top of text. There's also another mode called trunk, and what trunk does is every time you try to write something, it deletes all of the previous content, if you understand what I'm trying to say. But that's not what we want. We don't want to delete all of the users before if we want to write a new user. So this is just append, which just adds a new user to the file. And here I just, save the most basic information, and then I close the file. And then later I have this kind of a sign up thing going on, where I just create a new struct and ask the questions and so on. I can actually show you how it works. First name, Edward, I don't know, do whatever you want, and username, let's do this. Wow. Alright, and password, blah blah blah, and yeah, so as you can see, it gets saved over here, and that's kind of it for that part. Next thing I want to work with is creating a unique ID for every single user, right? And this I also need to save. So if you haven't been working with databases, this might be a bit weird, but what these unique IDs do is you can search through this whole file for a specific ID, right? And every single ID is specified to a single user, okay? So for example, I haven't made it yet, but for example, this first user will have an ID of 1, 2, and 3, right? And so even if I delete this last user, the next will still be 4. Like the next user will still have an ID of 4, and no one else will have an ID of 3, even though it's already deleted. I hope that kind of clears that. If you're still confused about it, you can ask me in the comments and I will explain a bit further. But that's what I'm gonna do right now. See ya then. Okay, so I have created 2 new functions, so I'll just go through what they do quickly and then we'll continue on with the video. So the first one returns a integer, the actual current ID. So what I do basically is I open a file called data.txt, .txt. So I created a new file basically, which I mean for right now it's gonna hold the ID, but it can hold other stuff as well. I didn't put it in this file because I didn't really think it belonged there, you know. In here it should only belong the actual users. Okay, so I instantiated a count string, which is basically gonna be the number, and I also called a built-in function getLine, which takes in a file and it will give me back a string, right? So for example, since I call it only once, it will return me the string, like what it will basically return me this, right? That's that's all you need to know, all right? And yeah, I get the position on where this is, so everything after this colon is going to be a number, okay? And then I go backwards, right, until I get to that position, so that I can get all of the numbers, right? And I just add it to the count, and since I went backwards, I have to reverse it. And yeah, that I just do it here, and then I close the file and I return, and this is also a inbuilt function which basically just turns a string to an integer. And yeah, that's basically how that works. And then I also made a function that updates the auto increment. So what it does is it basically gets the current auto, and then obviously it returns the, I create a I open the file, thank you, if I can speak, and then I just, you know, update, like I write to the file with the new ID, and then I just close it. And then I just updated this save user data so that it can actually take in the ID, and I can, yeah, that's basically what I did. I can show you how it's gonna work. So blah blah blah. I'm just gonna type some random stuff because it doesn't matter, and you can see it gets saved here with the ID of 1. Right, okay, let me just delete this one because that was before the ID part. And if I create a new username, blah blah blah, right, see, it gets an ID of 2. Now if I later create a function that deletes a specific user, let's say, okay, I'm just gonna delete it now, and let's say we create a new blah blah blah, right, and now it gets an ID of 3, okay? So it's not gonna be ID of 2 even though we deleted it, right? So that's what the auto increment is for. And then the next user is gonna get an ID of 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on and so on. Right, so now I just want to kind of get the login / signup started. So that's what I'm gonna do. Alright, so I think that's gonna do it for today. So what I basically did is I have created a login and a sign up function, and in the login, you do what you have to do. So you ask for the username and the password, and I also check if user exists. So I created another function which, it does what it says. It checks for a specific user if it exists in this file, right? And if it does, well then the login is successful and we return true. If it doesn't, well then we say like we haven't found a user, and if they want to try again, then we'll just run the function again, right? Else it will just return false. And yeah, and then on the sign up, we basically do almost the exact same thing. We ask for the information, and we also check if the username exists, because we don't want people with the same usernames. And it's pretty much the same. If the username exists, well then we say, okay, well the username already exists, would you like to try with another username? And yeah, if they say yes, well then we just run the function again. And in the main I just have a simple question mark, like do you want to log in or do you want to sign up? Then I have a switch statement. This actually I got a bit confused actually, because the syntax mainly for like the switch and for loops are pretty much the same. Like I didn't think that, but it's pretty much same to the C# as well. This is exactly how you write in C# as well. And the for loops, while loops, pretty much everything looks the same, which to me it felt kind of weird, but alright. Anyways, the switch statement, so if it's a successful login, well we give access to account, but there's no account to give access to. Otherwise we will just clear the console, right? And we will just run the main function again, same with the sign up. So I can show you. So if I just delete everything, and let's say I just do this. So do you want to log in or sign up? Let's say I want to log in, right? And if I just type some username, oh, we haven't found a user, blah blah blah, would you like to try again? No thanks. See, it clears the console. And let's say I want to sign up, well, blah blah blah. There we go. So the program is finished because it doesn't know what to do after this, but you can see that it adds the user here and it increments the ID. And that's basically for this video. So in the next video I definitely want to kind of make this a bit cleaner, and I feel like I want to have this in multiple classes, right? So everything that has to do with like files, reading and writing to files, I want to have that in a class, and everything that has to do with like login or sign up, I want to have that also in a separate class. I want to have this main file, right, as clean as I can. I feel like that's gonna be the next video, and if I have enough time I can also add some kind of a balance information, so the user can see how much they have money. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please like, don't forget to subscribe as well. And if you have any questions about this, please leave them in the comments. I will love to answer anything. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.